Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. In this video you're going to learn to compare two photographs, which is something you'll have to do if you're going to do a B2 level speaking exam. If you find the video useful, then please do hit like, and if you'd like to see more videos, why not subscribe to the channel? Let's get started.
If you're doing an English exam, for example, FCE Speaking Part 2, that's the first certificate in English, a Cambridge exam at B2 level, or Aptis Speaking Part 3, then you'll need to complete a task where you compare two photos. And you just have a short time to do this. So you have to talk about the similarities and the differences. So that's basically when you compare two things, that's what you're doing. You're looking at the things that are the same and the things that are different. So what can you see? Well, you can think about the following questions. Where are the people? What are they doing? Why are they doing it? And how are they feeling? The last two of these points, you'll need to use your imagination or speculate. And it's a really good idea to review modals or modal verbs of deduction for this. And for help with this, the specific language that you might use, see my other videos. There's describing a photo, modal verbs of deduction on the present tense, and modal verbs of deduction on the past tense. So these three videos could also be very helpful for you for doing this comparing photos task. So let's look at these two pictures. These are typical of the type of pictures you might get in a speaking exam. And what are the similarities and differences? What can you see? Both pictures show people eating out. We use both pictures here to show that we're talking about similarities. Where are the people? In the first picture, they're in a fast food restaurant, whereas in the second one, they're in a posh restaurant. We use whereas to show a contrast. So whereas is like but it's a higher level word, and so will sort of boost your level. If you were doing a B1 exam, then we would expect to hear but for B2 and above, we really need more range of vocabulary, and whereas is a good word to use. Posh restaurant, in case you're wondering. Posh is an adjective and it means fancy or expensive. So they're in a posh restaurant or an expensive restaurant. What are they doing? In the first picture, the people are eating, while in the second one, they have just arrived. So this time we're using while to indicate contrast. So while is another word you can use instead of whereas or but. Why are they doing it? In the first picture, they're probably friends meeting for lunch, whereas in the second one, they look like two couples. Maybe they're on a double date. So looking at the language here, we are using probably to show that we're guessing, whereas shows that we're indicating a contrast or a difference. They look like two couples. This is a really good phrasal verb to use when you're comparing photos. And maybe they're on a double date. We are not 100% sure, but it looks like they're on a double date, or it appears that they're on a double date. How are they feeling? In both of the pictures, it looks like they're enjoying themselves. In the first picture, they're laughing. One of them must have said something funny. So we've got, again, in both of the pictures to show that we're talking about a similarity. It looks like, there's that phrasal verb again, or it appears that they're enjoying themselves. And one of them must have said something funny. So must have is a past tense modal of deduction, and it's used to say what we think has just happened. So these modals of deduction are really important when you're comparing photographs if you want to talk about how the people might be feeling or what might be happening or might have just happened. Now let's look at these two photos. What are the similarities and differences? What can you see? The first picture shows people playing tennis, whereas the second one shows people watching football on TV. Again, we're using whereas to show difference. Where are the people? In the first picture, they're outside on a tennis court. However, in the second one, they're inside. It looks like they're in somebody's living room. This time we use however to show contrast. Okay, so however is very similar to while or whereas, but it always appears at the beginning of the second clause in contrast and after a full stop. And again, we've got it looks like. It looks like there is in somebody's living room. What are they doing? While the first picture shows a young girl having a tennis lesson, the second one shows a group of friends watching a match. So you'll see from this example that we can use while at the beginning of the contrasting phrase. And we could also use whereas. You could say, whereas the first picture shows a young girl having a tennis lesson, the second one shows a group of friends watching a match. Why are they doing it? I think the girl is a beginner. The trainer is showing her how to hold the tennis racket, so she can't be very experienced. I think this shows that you're guessing. She can't be very experienced. Can't be is another modal verb of deduction, this time a present modal of deduction. And we use can't be when we think something is, we're very certain that it's not true. So we're very sure that she is not very experienced. She's only just learning how to hold the racket and hit the ball. The group must be watching their favourite team. It could be an important match. Their team must have scored a goal because they're celebrating. So here, why are they doing it? And another modal of deduction in the present tense, they must be. So we use this when we are very sure that something is true. It could be an important match, another modal of deduction that we use when we think something is possible. Their team must have scored a goal. So here, must have past tense modal of deduction when we think that it's very certain that something has happened. And how are they feeling? In the first picture, the girl is concentrating. She looks very focused. She might be nervous if it's her first class. Again, we've got looks. Now, instead of looks like, we use look like followed by a noun and look followed by an adjective. She looks focused. She appears focused. Okay. And she might be nervous if it's her first class. So another modal verb of deduction here. Might be is used when we think something is possible. In the second picture, they must be very excited, but they could be worried that the other team will score again. Again, we've got modal verbs of deduction here, must be. We're very sure that something is true. And could be. We think that something is possible.
Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope that you did find that useful, and if so, then please hit like, and if you'd like to see more videos, don't forget to subscribe. There are a lot of videos that could help you with your speaking exam. There are some specifically about speaking exam tips. There's also a video about describing a photograph, and lots of videos that can help you improve your grammar and your vocabulary. Bye for now.